13, we also covered, I'm going to turn off the look at this, edit that. We also covered, in addition to the organic reveals, we did fly-throughs, which also work off of the idea of using mats, like the alpha mat. So, what I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to make a new comp. I'm going to call this 2D fly-through, because we're also going to do a 3D one. Alright. So, I'm going to quickly show you, let's see, what do we got here? We'll use the camel again. So here's my camel, and I'm just going to put him in the fly-through, really, is what I want to do. Camel, here's the camel. Okay. Because this is already the same size. This is 24 frames, but this was shot 23.976. It's close enough for this example. Now, as I said before, whatever you put on top that you want to make a mask, so select all this, I'll center it. And I know I spelled that wrong. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little space here in between, and you'll see why in a second. Let's shrink this down a little bit. Okay. So, if I just simply made this text right here a alpha mat, and remember, you go to toggle switches and modes right down here. That's how you change from your switches to your mats. Blending modes and mats, I mean. So this is your switches. I click it again. If I hit alpha mat, I'm now using the layer above it as the mat, and you're seeing what's beneath it. This is the way an alpha mat works. So I'm going to click no track mat. That's not what they do in things like Stranger Things. They use an alpha inverted mat, and I'll show you what that does and what that means. So I'm going to make a new solid. It'll be fit to comp. I'm going to pick it some ridiculous color. Let's just do dark red, just so you can see more clearly what's going to happen here. The mat goes beneath the text, and if I select this and do alpha invert, it's keeping the red and punching through the text, almost like a stencil. So this is the first step of what they do for that that technique. But I'm going to show you something a little creative you can do with it in addition to this. So we've got this, and what we're going to do is we're just basically going to scale it up towards the screen. Super easy. But I always say challenge yourself, push your ideas a little bit further. So I'm going to quickly I'm going to put I'll do a polygon. I'll put a polygon in the middle, and I'll tell you why in a second. I've got this big polygon. When you're doing your fly-throughs, you're going to need it to go through something. So I'm going to use this polygon shape to show you what I mean by that. Now I'm going to also tween this shape over time. So it's going to start off, I'm going to use the polystar path. Number of points, I'll start off at 5. At the 1 second mark, I'll make it 3. And then at the 4 second mark, I'll crank it up to, let's just say about right there, 8. Okay? So it's going to be morphing over time. And I'm going to easy ease these. I'm not going to worry about the speed of it. This is just to show you what happens as this is going to apply to the whole technique. So I've got my animated logo. This works with any animated shapes as well. And I want the text as well. So I select both of them. Right click, pre-compose, and I'll call this 2D FlyThrough PC for pre-comp. Move all attributes into a new comp. Fine by me. So now, when I do my alpha inverted mat, it includes the graphic in the middle and keeps the animation because I pre-composed it with the type. So all that's left is simply to get the layer that we're using as the alpha that we're going through, and we're going to scale it over time. So let's say this is a 4 second thing, because you want it to be, you don't want it to be so slow or so fast. See, so we just flew through that. Go back. And there you go. You just change the scale of it. Obviously, you can easy ease these. And then I'll go into my speed graph. And I want this to be nice and slow into there. So remember, you always grab the yellow ball at the handle, not the square, because the square will change the value. This is the scale speed. And again, the value of it, this is what it's doing with the scaling. It's going like such. So we're going to be editing the speed, again, like I said. And I'm grabbing the yellow ball at the end, and I'll ease this a little bit more to about there. So it's going to very slowly come out, and then speed up towards the end, and fly through. Like such. That's how that works. Another thing you could do, if you want to add some depth to this, since this has a zooming effect, you could get your movie clip, hit S for scale. I'm going to start off at, let's say, 115%. And then over time, let's try about here. Make it, now we'll go the full length of the thing. Right about there. We'll make it 100%. So as it's zooming out the type, it's zooming into the shot below it. It's going from 115% to 100%. And that is how you achieve a 2D fly through. You could, like I said, it's all up to you. If you want to use this positive space here, that's when you're using the alpha invert. Or you could just simply click that off, put that over there, and use an alpha matte. Sorry, so wrong layer, right here, like that. And that's what happens when you use the alpha matte. That's the difference between alpha and alpha invert. Track matte, and this one will be alpha invert as well. Right there. See? It's all about the positive and negative space and how you want to activate it. This one, I want to keep all this negative space around it and go through the positive space. That's why I chose alpha invert. And one more quick look. Like I said, I just pre-composed the two elements together. It kept all the animation and everything. And that's it in a nutshell for alpha invert 2D fly through.